everybody. Welcome, all my ReaderCrate friends. I'm so glad that you're joining us tonight. It is time to kick off our December book club live author chat. So I hope you're comfy, maybe sipping some tea or some cocoa, or because tonight we are going to be chatting with an author who brings humor and heart and a little Southern sass to the world of cozy mysteries. So I would love it if you have questions, if you type them in the chat, and I will definitely get to them. I'll go through them. There is a little bit of a lag because I'm using a streaming service so that we can get a little bit better picture. And so type it in the Facebook chat, but then it'll eventually get to me, and I'll read your questions to Jann. All right. So before we dive in, I want to do a quick reminder of our 12 Days of Christmas giveaways that are in full swing. So if you're already on our ReaderCrate email list, then you're automatically entered. And if not, then you just want to head over to readercrate.com to join and get in on all the daily prizes. So today I drew, we had 4 winners today. You just never know. It depends on how much people are engaging and talking, but I draw from the list, and then also I will pick some from people who are engaging and talking with me during the live. So it's at 4:00 Central Time every day here through the 12th. And so please join us. It's super fun. And if you're, again, it's not too late to join. Just go ahead and go to readercrate.com. The newsletter sign up is underneath the freebies section. So just click on freebies. You'll see it in the drop down, and just go ahead and sign up. And also, don't forget that our January Cozy Crime Crate is now open, and it is the theme is mystery in the making, and each level of the crate includes either 1, 2, or 3 cozy mystery books, and plus I've curated some treats and some other bookish goodies. We packed it with some warm, relaxing vibes to help you recover from the holidays, and you can grab it at readercrate.com as well. And so here's, just in case you haven't seen it, here's our crate, and so cute, and there's a little cat on the back. I mean, I just think it's so fun. I love how they turned out, and I would love to share it with you. Okay, so all right, friends, I am so excited for tonight's cozy conversation. This is one of my favorite parts of Reader Crate, and that's getting to chat with these brilliant minds behind the books that we love. And tonight we've got somebody extra special joining us. So I want you to help me welcome the delightful Jann Franklin. Let me go ahead and bring Jann up, and then I'll give you a little bit more rundown. Hi, I'll give you a little bit more rundown on Jann. So, Jann is a cozy mystery author. She's a small town enthusiast, and she's the kind of writer who makes you want to pack your bags and move straight into her fictional world. She writes small town girl mysteries, and y'all, if you've ever lived in a town where everybody knows everybody, you'll feel right at home in these stories. So she brings humor and heart and a little big old dose of Southern charm to everything she writes. She's also a wife and a mom and a former CPA who traded spreadsheets for storytelling, and lucky for us, she is now crafting murder mysteries instead of tax returns. So her book in this month's crate, Muffalettas and Murder, is full of wit, food, and just the right amount of mayhem. And I can't wait to dive into her world tonight. So grab your beverage, get cozy, and let's welcome Jann. Yay! Thanks for being here.
Dude, that was a wonderful. Remember that? Trying to keep stories.
Good. Awesome. Okay. So let's see here. Now, I'm just going to ask you some questions, and we'll just kind of see where this goes. Okay. But you live in a small town in Louisiana. So how has that shaped your storytelling?
Pretty much it's defined my storytelling. I grew up in a small town of 20,000. I thought that was small. And I fled to the big city of Dallas, Texas. And then I met the mate of my dreams, and he said, "Oh, hey, by the way, when I retire, we're going to move to small town Louisiana." And I said, "Oh, that's so far away." "Sure, of course, that'll be fine." So now here we are, and Grand Cane, Louisiana, which is south of Shreveport, is about a 246 people.
Oh my goodness.
And to make matters even more fun, we just bought the downtown coffee shop 3 months ago. So I'm like, I definitely need all my stories. All my book series revolve. There's definitely a coffee shop involved because for us, coffee shop is community. Everybody comes to coffee shop to see and be seen and greet and welcome, and so everybody is there. And so all my stories, you have to have a coffee shop because for small towns, what that's where we go. That's how they solve the mysteries. So
Yeah, well, you're living the dream. You're living the you're we were talking about this earlier today at the 4 o'clock drawing about, what would be our favorite, like if we were thrown into one of these cozy mysteries, what would be our favorite scene? And everybody said that, that it was a coffee shop. So okay, so you own the coffee shop, and are you working behind the counter too?
I actually was working all day today. we because local small business, we're very family oriented. So one of our baristas, she said, oh my goodness, my daughter has strep throat. My husband can't take off work, and I'm so sorry I can't come in. I said, no worries, I'll do it. So I'm there, and we're pulling the shots and running the register and throwing in the syrups and doing the cold foam. I didn't even know what cold foam was until we bought the coffee shop. So that's been a whole new experience. So yeah.
How long have you owned it?
3 months.
Oh, wow. So it's really new. And do you have your books there for people too, or?
We don't because number one, so our small town, our downtown is so small. How small is it? There's only one side. You know how most small towns you drive through and there's little stores on both sides. No, ours is one side because the railroad used to go through there, and
Oh,
on the other side they unloaded the cattle, the cotton. On the side that we're on, that's where people came. They got off on that side to get the general store and everything. So we just have the one side, but the village owns all the buildings. They give us rent at 25 cents a square foot because they want us to succeed. So the only requirement they ask is that we have a business where sales tax is charged so that they get a portion.
okay.
And so every shop is filled, every merchant is successful. We all collaborate, communicate, we're community. So that being said, the store at the very end called the Village Loft, they have my books. So we're like, we don't want to compete with them. And I tell them, hey, by the way, I'm an author. Hope you like your coffee. Go down and, try the books. But we just work. And I tell them too, hey, this coffee shop, you can find it in my books too. So
Oh, I love that.
innocent, but yeah, everything else is all very much the people in my books are based on people in the community. The coffee shop is uh not the mysteries so much. We don't have nearly as many dead bodies in our small town as ones in my stories, but that's probably a good thing, right?
Oh, for sure. That's great. Well, so what made you decide to make the leap from being a CPA to writing cozy mysteries?
Well, I will be honest. My parents did pay for my college, and their one stipulation was that I choose a profession that I can actually make money. So I really loved writing from an early age, but back in the olden days, what do you do with writing? You become a newspaper columnist, or authors. You have to be really big to make money as an author. So I said, you know what? Bookkeeping, accounting, tax returns, that's all very stable, very steady. Mom and dad approved. So I got the accounting degree, but I didn't really enjoy it.
Mm,
Pay the bills. And that's a blessing. So when we retired, and I was just enjoying being a resident of Grand Cane, Louisiana. but I always had these funny stories, that I come back with. Oh, guess what happened and this happened, and my husband kept saying, "You should write a book. You should write a book." Husbands can be so supportive, and mine is definitely. And so I wrote a book based on Grand Cane, Louisiana, but I named it Graceville, Louisiana, because again, names change. So, but a lot of the stories came from things that have actually happened in our town. But when I went to market it, people would say, "Well, is it a romance?" Well, no, they're married, so it's a romance, but a different kind of romance. Well, is there a mystery? Well, sometimes, but sometimes the mystery is just, how am I gonna get through my life without, strangling my husband, or, killing, or not killing, but like locking my kids in the closet. So no, not really a mystery. So it was very hard to market. So then I kind of switched, because people are like, "Oh, write romance. Romance sells." I'm like, "Oh, but it's so." For me, it was just hard. Like, they always end up together. It seems like there's really not much plot. So, mystery. Now, mystery's fun, but some mystery can be very graphic, very uh violent. And so I was like, "Oh, but I love Jessica Fletcher, Murder She Wrote. That's so much fun. Oh, cozy mysteries. Oh, those are great too." So, that's kind of how that happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so did you let's see here. So let's talk about Muffalettas and Murder then, because that's our book in the crate this month coming up. So where did that story idea come from?
So the protagonist Ev is a lot like me. She's an introvert, but she enjoys people, but she's very kind of quiet, a little bit shy. Of course, she solves mysteries, which I would love to do. I just write mysteries, but she starts out with kind of the same thing. She grew up in a small town, fled as soon as she could, married the love of her life. He was a police officer, killed in the line of duty. So she's hanging out in New Orleans, just being a widow, and her kids are like, "Mom, you need to move closer to family, not us, because we're young and we want to live our lives. But go move next, near dad and near your dad and near, your brother, and back to your small town that." So she ends up back in the small town she swore she would never return to, kind of floundering, just trying to figure out what she wants to do. And her brother is a sheriff's deputy, because here again, small town, we don't have our own police force. We have the sheriff's deputies that take care of everything. So he says, "Hey, I have this case. I think I know who the murderer is, but I can't prove it. Could you just maybe, you're a writer, you teach English," and she'd actually written some mysteries of her own. "Hey, just take a fresh, take a look at it." So she does, and she actually involves the help of her repairman, who has gone off and gotten his PI license. So he fancies himself to be quite the, expert. So they stumble into their first mystery, and they figure it out. She can't afford to pay him, so she pays him in muffalettas, sorry, which are a Louisiana thing. It's a sandwich with ham and cheese and Italian spread on big pieces of thick bread, and they're very yummy. If I don't know if anyone has a Jason's Deli. That's kind of a national chain, I think, but they serve muffalettas. So
And do you make them too?
I have them. We actually made them to serve at the launch party, and but not as a general rule, I guess. So, but they are good.
Okay, fun. That's what I was going to ask where that came from, the food in the book. So super fun. Okay, so tell us about Chloe. Okay, so she's like a great mix, kind of grounded and quirky. What inspired her character? Or Chloe? Do you call her Chloe?
Oh,
Chloe?
are you talking about Ro from the innkeep? Wait, oh, for Ev from
Oh,
the.
sorry. Where did I get that from?
I don't know.
Huh. That is so funny. I think I might have grabbed some info from a different book. Tell us about the main character in your book.
Well, Funny. No, that's something I would totally do. That's funny. So her name is Evangeline, which is a very French Cajun, Louisiana name, but they call her Ev for short.
Oh, yeah.
And she,
EV. That's what I was wondering. Is it EV or Ev? Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
so yeah, she's like I said, she is me in a sense that she's quiet, introvert, a little bit of sarcasm, kind. She has wounds. Her husband died in the line of duty as a police officer, which is very tragic, and she struggles with the whole, you know, why did this happen to me? Why did the father of my children, the love of my life, why is he gone? But now I've got to make my own life. I've got to make a new life, and I don't want to because I want my old life back. So she struggles back and forth because you've always got to have a protagonist that is believable and real and just relatable. And I think we can all relate to that. Like, this is not the life I signed up for. I want this other life, or I want these things to change. And oh, okay, well, that's not happening. So now I've got to figure out how to live this life that I've been given. So
Yeah. So, who's your favorite character to write?
I will have to say, Ev's sidekick Shorty Cormier, he is so funny. Like, he just tells it like it is. I love people like that. Like, just tell me what you think. And if you think my hair looks weird, or maybe I should have worn a different sweater today, just tell me. Don't say it behind my back. Just tell it to my face. So I like that about him. He's very, this is the way it is.
Yeah. Now, was there a scene in the book that made you laugh out loud while you were writing it?
They bicker a lot. They're kind of like brother and sister. They do bicker. But they're dear, dear friends, and they would do anything for each other. And I love that. And I love, over the course of the book, they become more understanding of each other and the lives that they're leading, and the problems that they have, and they're more accepting. And they start out with, their dads are best friends, but they're not really close. But throughout the book, they grow closer, and at the end, I think they both realize that, you know what, this is someone I definitely is a good friend, someone I can definitely count on.
Yeah, that's good. Now, your books I know are clean and often faith inspired. So, yeah, so that's great. So, what do readers say about that element?
It's funny. I think for the most part, everyone is fine. Like I tell people, it's not in your face religion. It's more about, they pray, they go to church. I mean, that is the South. It's the Bible Belt. That's what we do, like it or not. But I did have one reviewer, and he was so clever. He said, Evangeline evangelizes too much. And I just laughed, and I'm like, that's clever. That is good. You should write a book. But you know, um, I feel like that's who I am. That's how I live my life, and that's how I want my characters to read. And if people don't want to read that, that's okay. I mean, there's lots of books I don't necessarily want to read, and I think that's the wonderful thing about the country we live in, is there's books and things for everybody, and we don't all have to agree, and that's okay.
That's right. That's exactly right. It's a big part of what, because I write as well, and I write clean books, and no swearing, no sex. I mean, that's just kind of, it's just for me. And I just decided that if I'm going to use this gift and do this at the end, when I'm standing up there, I don't want to be saying, why did you write that? So I don't know. It's just kind of funny, but okay, let's look at some questions here, okay? So let's see here. It's a little small. All right. So we have got Vanessa and Kate are here. Let's see here. Vanessa said that she grew up in a really small town too. So she loves that's a part of her life. She said they had 20 kids in the class, Southeast Kansas, and definitely they need a coffee shop. And Wanda says hi. And Vanessa thinks Evangeline. It must have been Evangeline that Vanessa thinks is a pretty name. So, all right. So that's what we've got so far. You guys go ahead and put your questions in the chat if you have any, okay? Because we want
I
to
love
hear from you too.
Kansas. My mom was born in Clearwater, which is right south of Wichita, but I think that's more south central Kansas. But
Oh,
Kansas, and that would be a fun place to also write about. They have a lot of history and very interesting. Not a lot of trees, but they do have a lot of crops, produce, soybeans and wheat and things. So I think
mhm.
it's fun. I love that. To me that reading a story is fun and great, and the characters, of course, are important. But I always love hearing about where they are. Like you. I think it's interesting to learn more about. Do they live in Hawaii? Do they live in Kansas? Do they live in Australia? It's neat to hear to learn more about the culture and the locations and the history. I think that's fun.
Yeah, I agree. You can travel the world, and it's so
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. All right. So, what does your writing process look like? Are you a planner or a pantser?
Ooh, I always say I'm a plantser.
Okay,
So,
so tell us more about that. Why don't you explain planner and pantser just in case people aren't clear on that too, if you don't mind?
oh no, that's fine. I think to me a planner is very, or I've also heard plotter, but planner same thing.
Yep.
They they plot out every single plot point. We're going to start here. The characters are going to do this, and then in this, and this, and this, and it's all very structured.
Yeah.
You have the pantser who's like, well, I think I have this character, and she might do this, and then maybe do that. And I don't know because we're just gonna have to write it and see how that works. And I'm kind of more in the middle. Like I will start out. I've had several books that Jane Doe she was the murderer. Definitely gonna be the murderer. That was the way it was. But as I got into the stories, like I don't think she's gonna be that. I think it's gonna be somebody else. And by the end, it's like, whoa, okay, that just happened. Well, those two ended up together. Well, I didn't know that. That was interesting. Oh yeah, no, Jane Doe was definitely not the murderer. She was actually framed. So yeah, but I feel like, and you may get that too, our characters talk to us.
Mhm.
And they may say, "No, I'm not the victim. No, I'm not the murderer." Or, "No, I'm not going to be with that guy. I'm going to go over here and be with someone else, or I may just not be with anybody, and you can't make me do that." Because as we continue to write, they speak to us and they show their personalities, and we really just have to do what they tell us to do, which is a little weird when I say that out loud, but as an author you get that.
Totally, I totally get it. In fact, I was saying yesterday about how my cousin was reading one of my series, and she said, I haven't, or well, she was talking about it and how much she liked it, and I said, "Have you met so and so yet?" And she goes, "What? Have you met?" And I go, "Oh my gosh." It's like they're so real to me. Like I just like she hadn't been introduced to her yet. So it's just so funny how that works. Yeah.
Yes, I was an author she was talking about how she washes her dishes and she talks to her characters. And her husband will walk in and say, "Well, who are you having a conversation with today? And how are they doing? Tell them I said hi," and walks out of the room. She's like, "But that's how I work through my plot points is my characters talk to me and we have conversations while I'm doing the dishes."
Mhm.
So, yeah.
That's great. That's wonderful. Well, how long did it take you to write this book?
And I guess probably that's where the kind of the planter or the plotter part of the situation comes through. I was like, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this book. I don't want to flounder. I don't want to get distracted. I want to get this done. It's very important to me. And so 4 months.
Oh, wow. And then do you have an editor that you send it to, or do you edit yourself? Or okay.
I mean, of course, yeah, I kind of go through it and try to make sure it makes sense. But I do have an editor. I feel like that's important. I feel like I'm so involved in the characters and the process and the plot that I need someone to say, No, I knew she was the murderer in chapter 2.
Oh,
That's not working.
mhm.
Or wait a minute, you said she drove a, blue Cadillac in chapter 3, but now wait a minute, why is she now driving an SUV? That makes no sense. So cuz it takes, 4 months on a book is pretty quick, but so much happens and you're like, "Oh no, I totally forgot about all that." So yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's important to have a objective third party to look at it with fresh eyes and just say no, no, yes, yes, oh good, yeah. So
How do
that's
you
a good.
keep your characters straight? Like, like their characteristics and, that they might have a certain car. How do you do that?
I have I guess they call it, what do they call it? Like a character Bible, I think is what they say, where I just say, okay, this character here, but that can be really hard too.
Mhm.
So actually, when I create a character, the first thing I do is I go out on the internet and I find a photo of who I see that person to be, and that helps me understand that character more. Like, oh yeah, she has short hair. I kind of thought she might have long hair, but no, no, that's definitely her. She has short hair, pixie cut, and oh yes, she has brilliant green eyes, and oh no, she always wears a scarf. I mean, that's how I get to know the character, is I have to see her or him in my mind. And even the minor ones, I just have to know who they are, because if I can see them and I have a photo of them, it helps me understand them better.
Well, that's really cool. I like that. What's the hardest part of writing for you?
The middle of the story, they call it, what, the muddle in the middle. It's like, okay, it's very exciting to start a new project, like, oh yay, this is going to be so great and I've got it going and blah blah, and then the ending is very satisfying, like, oh, we're wrapping everything up, all the loose ends, we see where it's all going, and here's the end, it's going to be great. It's that middle part where it's like, and I think that's true for many projects, like painting a room, or knitting a scarf, or making your Thanksgiving meal. It's like, the middle. There's just, the beginning is so far back, and now the end is so far away, and it's just tedious, boredom. I can't stand it. That's hard for me.
I get it. How about what's the most fun part for you?
Ooh, I goodness, the ending is very satisfying. Where you're just like, boom, shut the door, I'm done, this is great, I love it, I'm so excited. But promoting, publishing the book is fun too, because, not to sound, well, this, yeah, the opposite of humble, I guess, is like, but it's like, it's fun to get the accolades, like, oh, you've got another book out, oh, I love that, I love the cover, how fun it is, oh, the story sounds great, oh, I read your book, it's so great.
Mhm.
That's fun too. Like, not so much like, oh, I'm such a great author, but to have other people like get it, like share it, like, oh my goodness, I love it. It's so, you're right. This is such fun characters, you like, they love them as much as I do.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. Have you ever had to cut a character or a scene that you secretly loved?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking about Shorty, the sidekick, that I love him so much, but I tend to write a lot about him because I do like him, but he is really more of an acquired taste for most people, because he's very sandpaper personality. So I've had my editor say, I know you love Shorty, Jan, but not everybody does. So we need to cut some pieces of this, because he's an acquired taste, and not everybody has acquired him yet. So yeah, let's cut him down. So yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, we have a couple questions here. So we've had two people ask this. So let's see. You might have said it, but nope, we didn't answer this one. So, what is your favorite type of book to read when you're on vacation?
Okay, I found a new guilty pleasure. The novellas, the little 40,000 to 60,000 words, very short. My husband and I went to Denver, Colorado, and on the plane, I brought a couple of novellas, and I felt so satisfied. Like, I read two books on the plane. They definitely were this big, not that big, but it was very satisfying.
Mhm. I know. That's awesome. So let's see here. And I think Vanessa might have asked something similar. Let's see here. Well, she asked, what's your favorite trope to write?
Ooh, mystery tropes are a lot different than romance, which I think are fun too. But as far I love the red herrings and putting those tropes in there. I try not to throw in too many because that irritates the reader. But I think it's fun to have those uh, dead ends, basically that bring the reader down and like, oh nope, sorry, that wasn't the right one. But I did with three other authors. There were four of us that wrote a book of novellas called Under the Christmas Tree that came out this year for Christmas. And I was like, okay, this time I'm really going to try my hand at romance, which I've always said, oh, that's so boring. But it was actually really fun. And I love the grumpy sunshine trope. I love that. And so, especially for Christmas. So, in this case, we had the small town baker who loves Christmas. She loves wearing tinsel and Christmas socks and, drinking eggnog. And then we had the grumpy deputy that, oh, I don't like Christmas because it reminds me of, sad things. And there's lots, I always have to work on Christmas. And so he's very grumpy about it. And so I love that, just bringing them together.
That's super fun. I think those are fun to read too, because you're just always rooting for both of them, right? So
Right.
yeah, that's good. That's great. Well, let's see here. So Jan uh, sent us a little treat for the box, but I'm not going to say what it is. But she did give us something that is from the story, and so that's super fun. And that's going to be in the crate this month. And I just got them, so thank you. That was really nice because we want to tie it all together. So that's why Mystery in the Making is our theme, and so that was super fun. So I just did want to say thank you for that.
You're
Um,
welcome.
yeah. Let's see here. Okay, so I've got just a few kind of rapid fire questions that we're gonna do. Okay, just a couple of them. So, do you like sweet tea or do you like coffee?
Coffee.
Okay, muffaletta or gumbo?
Ooh, muffaletta.
Okay, do you write in silence or with music?
Silence.
Okay, what is your favorite festival or tradition in Louisiana?
Mardi Gras.
Oh, so have you actually gone like during the middle of it?
To New Orleans, no, because that's like a big craziness. But we actually do a Mardi Gras parade here in small town Louisiana, and so we have probably 4 or 5 floats, and they go around the block twice because it's such a small parade, and they throw Mardi Gras beads and cups, and uh,
Oh.
I love it. We do king cake, and I feel like it, before I came to Louisiana. Christmas, of course, is so much fun.
Yeah.
But then after Christmas, you're kind of like, oh, okay. What's next? Valentine's Day, Easter? Oh, they're so far away. But Mardi Gras starts in January, and so you have the beads and the masks and the king cake and the just the fun. And so it's like, yay, it's a party. So we take our Christmas tree and take down all the Christmas decorations, and we put up Mardi Gras beads and masks all over the tree, and it's like, yay, it's kind of like Christmas, but a little bit, a few steps down. Still got the food, lots of fun music, lots of decorations, but doesn't feel like such a bummer. Now we're done. What's left over? So I love it. To me, it's kind of a pick me up until season spring comes with all the warm and the flowering and the greenery. So
Oh, that's super fun. That's a fun picture that you painted. Makes me want to move to a small town. All right. So if your book were a Hallmark movie, who would play Eve? Ev. Evangeline.
Ooh, I think it would probably be, well, okay. Faith Ford. I don't know if you know Faith Ford,
Mm.
but she played, she was on, I can't remember her name. I've totally lost with it. Anyway, she does a lot of Hallmark movies. She was on The New Night Court. She played the mother. She also is in The Bridge with
Oh.
she's a blonde. She's actually from she and my husband went to high school together. She's just a couple of
Oh.
years older. She also played Corky. She played Corky on it was had can anyway, Candice Bergen was in it back in the 80s. She played a news reporter. Anyway, she is blonde. Ev is not, but I just see her because she's Louisiana. She, has a house here and her parents still live here. And she just is very I respect her. She's really cool. So I think she would be really good. But barring that, a lot of those Hallmark actresses I think would be so wonderful too. Danica McKellar, she would be good too. She's about the right age. So yeah, I think I would love that. I mean, isn't that every author's dream
Yeah.
is to have a movie made after your book? That would be so cool.
Yeah, it'd be really fun. So are there any more small town girl mysteries coming in the pipeline?
Yes, I book 7, Alligators and Arson is at the editor, and that will come out in March. And then I've already picked, book 8, which is going to be Remoulade and Runoffs. So Remoulade is a Louisiana sauce that goes in a lot of savory dishes, and then Runoffs. Ev's boyfriend, the sheriff, is in a runoff election, and his opponent mysteriously dies and he is accused of murder. So she
Mhm.
has to help defend him and bring the real killer to justice. Because of course her boyfriend would never kill anybody. Couldn't happen. So
Right, right, exactly. Well, that sounds fun. All right, so booking 7 and 8. That's great to know. Let's see here. Where can readers follow you? Where are you most active?
ooh, probably Facebook because I'm old and so that's we do Facebook.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube.
And do you have like a reader group page or something? I thought I saw.
An author page,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, okay. I thought I saw something where you were kind of uh, managing a reader group. Maybe you were just doing a takeover one day or something from somebody's.
Could
Yeah.
be, yeah.
All right. So, well, what is one thing that readers can do to support you?
Aw, well, I would love for you to follow me on Facebook. If you want to sign up for my newsletter, you get Muffalettas and Murder ebook for free. And then every week uh, I have behind the scenes talking about what I'm working on as an author. The last newsletter of the month is called Coop and Kennel Chronicles. So we have chickens and we have Labrador retrievers. So that newsletter is devoted to whatever their crazy antics are. I do a recipe one week, and so yeah, just fun things. And there's the opportunity to win a free ebook from other cozy mystery authors. So that's a fun thing too.
Oh, that's great. Okay. All right. So, and they can find your newsletter. They can sign up for your newsletter where? On your website or?
No, the website is actually in progress, but they can email me at Jann, Jann, at jannfranklin.com, and I can get them signed up for the newsletter.
Okay,
Or
good. Excellent.
email me there too.
Okay, wonderful. All right. And then also, if you've read Jan's books, it really helps if you leave reviews. So if you have read it and you loved it, or you do read it or pick it up, please leave a review. I mean, it's the most important thing for us to be able to get introduced to other readers, right? So, okay. All right, good. Well, Jan, thank you so much for being here tonight. You've been really fun, and it was kind of fun to get a chance to look in your world. And now I want to, like I said, move to a small town.
Well, they anywhere, I'm sure, because you are lovely and they would
Oh,
love to. Anytime you want to move, we'll find you a small town.
Awesome. That sounds good. Okay. So, again, Muffalettas and Murder is the book that we were talking about today, but you've got lots of other ones too. So check Jann out on Facebook. And if you have not entered the 12 Days of Christmas giveaway, please do that. Go to readercrate.com. And if you want a Reader Crate, please try to get one. I'm only selling them till December 10th. So just because I've got a short run of them, and so that'd be great. And then we will see everybody next week for our next author spotlight. Thanks so much
Fun.
for being here. All right. Good night, everybody.